The entire universe, from giant planets orbiting stars all the way down to the atoms in the chair you're sitting on, is in constant motion. But what does it really mean to be moving? Well, today, we're going to unravel the story of motion, and it all kicks off with one very simple question. So let's just start with you. Right now, as you're listening to this, are you moving? Your first instinct is probably to say, no, of course not. I'm sitting still. But in the world of physics, the real answer is so much cooler. To get our heads around this, we need a guide. And our guide today is a young man named Chintu Lal. His simple journey home from school actually holds the keys to understanding how pretty much everything in the universe moves. Okay, so our story starts right as the school bell rings. Chintu's walking home with his friend, and right here, in this super simple, everyday moment, we find our first kind of mind-bending concept. So just picture this. Chintu and his friend are strolling down the sidewalk, totally in sync. Step for step, they're moving at the exact same speed, so close they could be whispering secrets. So here's the big question. From Chintu's point of view, is his friend moving? Well, the distance between them isn't changing at all, right? So to Chintu, his friend is perfectly still. He is, relative to him, at rest. But now, let's zoom out. Across the street, another boy, Mintu Lal, is just standing there, watching them go by. From his point of view, are they moving? Oh, absolutely. He just sees two kids walking down the road. They are, without a doubt, in motion. And boom, this is our first huge takeaway. Motion is relative. An object can be both at rest and in motion at the exact same time. It completely depends on your frame of reference. So, back to our first question. Are you moving right now? Well, relative to your screen, probably not. But relative to the sun, you're hurtling through space at thousands of kilometers an hour. Okay, let's get back to our story. Chintu and his friend go their separate ways. Now Chintu has to get home, and he's got a choice to make. A choice that perfectly shows two very different ways to measure a journey. Chintu, he's in no real hurry to get home and do homework. He decides to take the scenic route. He wanders through the park, stops to chat with some friends. He's taking a long, looping, meandering path. Every single step he takes adds to his trip. This total ground he covered, every single step along that winding route, that's what physics calls distance. It's the full, actual length of the path you travel. We call it a scalar quantity, which is just a fancy way of saying it only has a size. It tells you how much ground you covered, but not where you went. Meanwhile, a top student from his class, you know the type, has no time for scenic routes. She wants to get home and start studying. So she takes the most direct path possible, a perfect straight line from the school gate right to her front door. And this direct, straight line path has a different name, displacement. It is the shortest, most direct path between where you start and where you end. And because it has both a length and a direction, say 500 meters east, it's what we call a vector quantity. It's not just a number, it's a complete instruction. So let's break this down. Distance is the total journey you took. It's a number that's always positive. Displacement, on the other hand, is the straight line shortcut. It's a vector that has direction. And here's the really wild part. Your displacement can be 0. Imagine you run a full lap on a track. You've run a distance of 400 meters, but because you ended up exactly where you started, your displacement is 0. But the story's not over. Chintu's dad arrives to pick him up in a truly legendary car, an Alto. And this is where our journey really gets moving. Chintu hops in, and they start driving home, just cruising down a perfectly straight road. This simple drive is going to set the stage perfectly for our next two important concepts. So now we've got two new ideas to unpack, speed and velocity. Speed is simple, right? It's just how fast you're going. It's the number you see on the speedometer. But velocity is different. It's speed in a specific direction. It's a vector. Now, on a straight road, they might seem pretty much identical. But a sudden change of plans is about to show us the huge difference. All of a sudden, Chintu's dad slaps his forehead. Oh no, I left my wallet back at the office. He slams on the brakes, whips a U-turn, and starts heading back in the exact opposite direction. Now, think about this. He gets the car back up to the exact same speed, let's say 50 kilometers per hour. The speedometer reads the same number. But is the car's velocity the same? No way, because the direction is now the complete opposite. Its velocity is fundamentally different. Direction is everything. But this little adventure isn't over yet. In fact,
things are about to get a whole lot faster as we dive into the final act of our story, the race.
So as they're driving, this flashy Ferrari pulls up right beside them. And Chintu's dad, being a proud Alto owner, he just can't resist a challenge. His ego is officially on the line. He puts the pedal to the metal.
And this Alto goes from a calm 20 kilometers per hour to a blistering, absolutely legendary 200. It is just flying down the road. And this change, this act of speeding up, is our final core concept. This rate of change in velocity is what physics calls acceleration. And here's the most important thing to remember. Acceleration isn't just speeding up. Since velocity includes direction, anytime you speed up, slow down, or even just change direction by turning a corner, you are technically accelerating. Why? Because your velocity is changing. So after his glorious victory, Dad sees a traffic light up ahead and slams on the brakes. The car slows down really fast. This is also a form of acceleration. When you're decreasing your velocity like this, we call it negative acceleration, or more commonly, deceleration. So from a simple walk with a friend, to a choice of paths, to a wild race in a legendary Alto, we've uncovered the core rules of motion: relativity, distance, displacement, velocity, and acceleration. But here's the truly amazing part. These same simple rules that describe Chintu's journey home also describe the journey of a planet orbiting a star. The universe, it turns out, follows the very same story. How's that for a change in perspective?